Hello and welcome to today's daily devotion. This has been a good Passion Week so far. We're going to continue this journey with Good Friday tomorrow and then obviously Easter Sunday. And I invite you to be a part of these things, but also make sure that you're inviting friends, family members. I know we have those little cards that we're handing out, but also make sure to like this and share this. That's another great way that we can get this word out. So today we're going to be in Matthew chapter 26. And so if you have a Bible with you, or maybe you have a phone that has a Bible app, I'd encourage you to go ahead and get it out. That way, when we are done with this devotion, you can take time to read it again and really ask the Lord, what are you speaking to me in this? And maybe more importantly, Jesus, what were you going through in your last moments before the cross? And so let's go ahead and dive into Matthew 26. Now I actually want to look right before, which our story today is Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. But right before that, to understand that story, we need to see that Jesus is at the Last Supper. And at that Last Supper, we see him explaining what's about to take place, that he's going to be betrayed, that he is going to be handed over into the hands of sinners, and he even tells them that his blood and his body are about to be broken for them. And so that's what's taking place, again, right before we enter into verse 36. And so let's pick up there. It says, "Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, 'Sit here while I go over there and pray.' And taking with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. And then he said to them, 'My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me.'" Now think about this. Jesus, again, he understands exactly what's coming. And this is not something that's pleasant to him. This is something that causes deep sorrow inside of him. And as we're going to see, he falls on his knees and he begins to plead with God. And so we're going to keep going in verse 39. It says, "Going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, 'My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will.'" And I think that is one of the most famous lines we hear of Jesus' prayer, but it's also one of the most powerful, because in this moment, Jesus, he comes to the Father and he says, "Lord, please take this situation from me. Please take this cup away from me." But then he follows it through with this, "But not my will, not my plans, may yours be done above my own." And he submits to the Father's will. And that's really where I want to end this today, as you can continue to read the story if you're doing this devotion by yourself, and see what happens as Jesus, he's handed over and to the Pharisees, and as it ends, it says that he is betrayed into the hands of sinners, and how tragic that is as we look back over this week. But I want to focus and I want to ask one question, and it's this: what are areas in your life that you know maybe God has asked you to do something, maybe you have just chosen your own will above his? What are ways that you need to submit to him this Easter season? And so I'd encourage you, take a moment after this and think and pray and say, "Lord, how have I chosen my will above yours?" And just lay it down to him. His will is worth it in the end. And in the moment, it might seem very difficult, but in the end, we know what happened to Jesus. We know it gave us eternal life. And in the end of our stories, when we submit to him, it ends up being life-giving. And so that's my challenge this week. Again, we're excited to be wrapping up this week of devotions, but don't forget, see us tomorrow at 6:30 for our Good Friday service. I hope you guys have a great weekend.